So this is going to be another sort of how to talk to women semen retention video. I've made videos like these in the past, but I have to make another one just because I find new ways to articulate it, and I find new ways to sort of talk about the subtleties of this. And so I only make these videos when I feel like there's some sort of new perspective or aspect that I can bring. And I'm going to try to lay out how I was talking to women before I started semen retention and how I do now after 13 months of semen retention, which is not a straight streak. So I think this can help. This can be really helpful for a lot of guys out there, especially younger guys that are really into PORN and jerking off. That stuff can really, I know it firsthand. Trust me, from firsthand experience, I know how much that can really do a number on your real life interactions with women. It can, I feel the correlation between the two. There's a huge connection there, a huge correlation. The more heavily invested in looking at PORN and jerking off, the worse your real life interactions are going to be with women. Especially if you don't really have natural charisma, you're not naturally good looking, like it's just, bro, you're going to get creamed out there. And so I'm trying to save you guys from this. It's going to pervert the way that you're supposed to interact with women. It's going to pervert your perception of women. It's going to pervert your perception of yourself. It's going to give you all these dysfunctional thought patterns of how you're supposed to be, how they're supposed to be, how the interaction's supposed to go. If you don't have your masculine energy within you, you're not going to have the source of intelligence, divine intelligence working through you to interact with a woman seamlessly. I'm talking effortless, seamless, and in the right way too, with the right motive. The right motive is everything. And so I'm going to use my personal experience. Maybe I can, you can relate to some of this. It can kind of describe, you can be like, oh, this measures up. Before I started semen retention, man, I really struggled with talking to women. I'm going to be 100% honest. I struggled with talking to women. I honestly thought that I was better than most women. I thought that I was a catch. I frankly, if you had seen me, you would have said I was deluded. I think I was deluded. I think there's a lot of guys out there that are genuinely deluding themselves and thinking that they are something that they're not. You're not even close. Even if materially you're successful, internally, if you're garbage, then it's gonna, man, no. That's what you're gonna get in the female opposite. Women are just a mirror. Women are mirrors of men. That's what they are. And so I would really struggle with talking to women. I would think that I'm better than them. The crazy thing was, if you looked at my digital self, who I was in imaginary world, imaginary land, where it's not real life. If you go into the phone, man, I'm killing it. I'm Genghis Khan. I'm slaying all the hottest chicks around. They're doing all the dirtiest things. But the disconnect there, the super disconnect between what is real in the digital world versus what is real in reality, that thing absolutely creams your mind, bro. You don't want those things to be very different. You want those things to be the same. You want those things to be very close together, not super far apart. So I would have this idea in my mind from looking at PRN and jerking off all the time and losing my energy just constantly. I had no energy in me. None. Super drained. No, I didn't know how to interact with women. I thought that all women were or should be attracted to me, but I lacked the ability to interact with them. So that's a problem. When you think that all women are attracted to you and yet and or should be attracted to you, you think you're such a catch. And yet you cannot interact with most of them, especially attractive ones. You fumble over your words, you don't know how to speak to them. Everything the conversation is very manufactured. You're thinking constantly about what you say. You're overthinking about it. You're trying to fill the silences. You're rushing the conversation. All these things a woman can pick up on. They are very intuitive, very perceptive, very sensitive beings. And they know, and they can pick up on it more because they've had so many interactions with men. They know what a good interaction with a man feels like. And so when they are having an interaction with the man and it feels there's dysfunction there, there's blockages there. If it doesn't flow, then she knows that this man doesn't really know what he's doing, that there's some sort of imbalance in his own energy and his own being. There's something perverted about him. There's something that's not going on well here. And so when you think that all women should be attracted to you, or you're super, and this too, you're super lustful, you love looking at women objectifyingly because you're so used to looking at them like that on the screen. You're objectifying them. And so you're super lustful. You're constantly driven by the one motive of sex. You think that a woman should be conquered, that they should have sex with you, and if they don't, then that's a failure on your part. So you think like that, and yet you can't interact with them. You so much resentment can just rot your whole being from this one thing, from this aspect, this dynamic that's going on that I just described. Really desiring them, looking at them lustfully, wanting to have sex with them, and yet you can't. There's a barrier, a seemingly untraversable chasm between you and the woman that you desire. You just there's so much resentment. You start thinking that it's their fault. It's them that the reason that you can't get them. It's them. They're superficial. Oh, they just this and that and this and that. It's not me. I'm better than them. They should come to me, or whatever you're thinking. So much dysfunction stems from this one thing: being successful on the screen, being super lustful, objectifying women in reality, and yet not having the energy because you're not actually real. You're perverted inside. You're perverted inside. You're a creep inside. You're you're giving away your energy. The charge that's supposed to magnetize you to a woman, that's the connection between you and a woman. You're giving away that. You're discharging it all the time. And so you really are severing this connection constantly. That's what you're doing. You're severing the connection constantly, constantly, constantly. And then you wonder why you cannot connect with a real life woman. This is how I was. This is how I was. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bro. Bad. Bad. I for a long time, for a decade plus, I really didn't talk to women. I have for most of my life stayed away from women. And yet I was super lustful, looking at women, obsessed with women, constantly every single day of my life, looking at women objectifyingly on the screen, naked women, doing crazy, nasty stuff with other men. Like what? Like, bro, it should come as no surprise that in my real life, it was so bad. And I had this idea of, oh, I'm a pretty good looking guy, or, I'm pretty intelligent, or I'm witty. Women should just flock to, they should love me. Why, I shouldn't have to. And the thing was, I was trying to protect myself because I knew that when I interacted with a real woman who was attractive, man, I was trash. I was trash. I was trash. I was trash, bro. I was trash. It was, there are many interactions where it was just awkward. I would think that I had a false idea of, because I'm trying to get her into bed, because I'm trying to have sex with her, because I'm objectifying her, I would lack the ability to actually want to get to know her, to want to see how she thinks, to inquire into her own mind, in her own being, to see the quirkiness of her personality, to really get to know her. I didn't even see that. It's not even like something that I really saw. Most of the crux of the interaction was I was trying to display to her how great I was with jokes, with intelligent remarks, with showing how smart I was or well versed I was in this or that, how much knowledge I had, the way I could say certain things. I'm pretty good with words. I can articulate things well. I would want her to see these things. But the one thing that I did not see when I was trying to show her this ode to me, it was always, the interaction with women were always like an ode to me. And what I think they picked up on and were picking up on, because they've had so many interactions with men, and they were constantly approached all their lives, women are, with an agenda, with men like me, they doing this, they see that it actually comes from a place of brokenness, of desperateness, of thirst, of lust, of insecurity, deep insecurity. What am I doing behind closed doors, bro? Like, you have to see, and I had no masculine energy. So the only women that I was really attracted to were like super, like, they were like women that I saw, they kind of looked like a woman that I had seen on online. Isn't that crazy? I'm sure that that's how it is for some of y'all. I know that that's how it is for some of y'all. There would be women that I would only be attracted to in real life because they looked like one of my favorite women that I would see online. Wild. Actually wild. Man, what the fuck? Like, I'd be thinking about this stuff and it's like, what the fuck was I doing? Um, and then, but the thing was, my interactions with them were really poor. And if I ever got anywhere with them, man, because I didn't have masculine energy within me, I would be so desperate, man, so broke. Like, I would lose myself to them. I would become submissive. I would become feminine to them. They had the power. I didn't. They had the power. You know why? Because that's literally what I was a slave to. I was a slave to lust, to them. I would do anything just to have sex with them. Of course they're going to own me. Of course. I didn't even really care about them as a person, as a human being. I wasn't even really trying to get to know them. I didn't view them as that. But the crazy thing is I didn't even see this. When you're in it, you don't see none of this. That's the wild thing. The wild thing is that when you're in this, you don't see none of this. The only time you see this is when you start to come out of it. The only time you see this is when you start to come out of it. And you're like, what? Holy, what the, what? Okay, so I'm starting to realize this. I'm starting to realize this. Yeah, man, my interactions with women were very poor. I would rush conversations. They could feel that it was rushed. They felt that I wasn't confident. Because I wasn't confident, and because I didn't have the natural energy flow no, the masculine energy that knows what to do better than my mind does, my little mind does, with all its weird thought patterns of how an interaction with a woman's supposed to go. It's so stupid, man, when you think about it. When you think about the little ego in the mind trying to like, oh yeah, you're supposed to act like this, and like it's so stupid. But because I didn't have that energy flowing, the women would sense it. And it's almost like I would only attract women. I would only have women in my life that were reflections of me. So they were not great either. You see? They were probably very perverted themselves. They were dysfunctional themselves. They were insecure themselves. That's why they even gave me the time of day. You see? So, with all that being said, now, after 13 months of semen retention, and this thing only seems to progress. This only progresses the longer that you do this, because I noticed that I'm continuously viewing women differently. It's an ever evolving process. Now, when I interact with women, I do it at both of my jobs. Customers, co-workers, these are mostly the interactions that I have with women. And man, I genuinely interact with them with no agenda. I'm not viewing them in a lustful, objectifying way. I actually genuinely I'm more attracted to them now. I'm more attracted to them. When I was drained, when I was giving away my energy, you actually aren't attracted to women. You only want to have sex with them, but you actually don't want to be around them and hang around them and enjoy their energy and enjoy their giggles and enjoy their laughs and their smiles and how their eyes and what they do with their hair and the little things that they say and how like cute and funny they can be and childish they can be. You know what I mean? You don't even see that stuff. When you're drained, that stuff it's not even on your radar. You don't even perceive it really, which is a tragedy. You only view like, oh, she's hot. Oh, I'm trying to smash. Oh, oh, she's so sexy. Oh, I just want to fuck. You see how bad that is? Now, the crazy thing is when I interact with women, even attractive women now, I interact with them from a place of, I don't have any agenda with this interaction. I'm not going to try to impress her, because I know that just comes off desperate. I'm not desperate because I have my masculine energy within me. I really don't feel desperate. I feel powerful now. So I'm not going to be desperate with her. I'm not going to try to show my personality. There's no effort in this. I put as much effort as she does. And I might ask a question, and whatever answer she gives, if it's a good answer that allows me to say something back, then I will. If it's not a good answer, then it's not a good answer. And I have no problem just being like, yeah, okay. Not really impressed with that. You see? You see how you have the power now when you have your balls. When you have that God's nectar in your bowels. You have the power now to really stand on your 2 feet and not be moved. You can see women clearly now because now you're looking at them as a full being, a full package. Did she actually give me a good answer? Was that an answer that I can interact with? Does she show a good personality? Does she show interest in me? Like, is she asking me questions? Is she trying to talk to me uninitiated? Is she showing smiles? Is she showing body language that shows that she's interested? Is she genuinely trying to contribute to the conversation? Or is she not? You can tell now, and you don't chase this. You can tell in your interactions now when a woman is interested or when she's not. And you're not chasing nothing. You're not putting in effort that you see that's not going to be rewarded. And you don't have a problem with it, even if she's very attractive. How many attractive women are there out there? Billions. Well, maybe hundreds of millions. Billions? Let's not get into math. There's a lot. There's plenty out there, bro. Don't focus on any one woman. But now when I talk to women, I actually want to hear. I have high standards, and now these standards are actually coming through, and I can back them up because I'm not. Your pretty face and your body is not what my focus is now. I don't even want to have sex with you. Okay, maybe if it comes down to that later down the line, okay. But I'm not like, I'm on semen retention, bro. Like, come on. This is more like, this is way beyond that. I'm not just trying to smash women. I'm actually trying to gauge, is this a woman that I can connect with, that I see long-term potential in? Is she cool? Could we be friends? Could I hang around her? Do I want to be with her despite never having sex with her? That's the question you should ask yourself. That's always the question you should ask yourself when you're interacting with a woman. That's how you find the woman. That's how you find good women. Do I want to be around her even if I don't have sex with her? Is she cool? Does she have good energy? Is she balanced? Does she match up well with me? Now, man, now I can literally talk to women, and I can let the charge hang with silence. I can kind of just look at her. I'll just look at her. And I'm not objectifying, I'm not checking her out. I'm looking at her face. And I'm thinking about her answer. I'm thinking about what she said. Or I'm looking at her facial expressions. I'm looking for cues into what she's thinking or how she took that. Everything I'm trying to sort of get a peek behind the curtain, see what she's about. How is her energy? How is her body language? What did she think of that? Why did she say that? What could she have meant by that? And I'm thinking, and I have no problem just being like silent, talking to a woman and just thinking. So many men, they try to feel like you can't be silent when I'm talking to a woman. We can't just be like chilling. And you don't always have to be talking. That's how a conversation feels rushed. Like she feels like it's desperate now. It's rushed. You're trying to make it happen. Never try to make it happen. Just literally chill, sit back. You don't even have to put in much effort. And the effort that she puts in, you put in. If it's not reciprocated, then just let it go. It's not the thing. It's not. Maybe she's just not there yet. Maybe she needs to maybe she's too used to she's too used to men just being. That's a lot of women nowadays, isn't it? A lot of these women, they're too used to men that just, they're like dogs, little pets. And just constantly ask them everything, and just they're propping up the conversation with, they're just like taking the whole conversation on their shoulders, on their back, just like like I got it. And she's literally just not even helping at all. That's what most women are used to today. You're gonna get women like that, and what you're going to introduce to them is, I'm not that man. So have fun not having my attention, which is fine. She might come around though. She might come around. She might actually start, trying to interact with you more, putting in more effort, because she sees that, okay, this guy's different. This guy's interesting. This guy is a challenge. You see what I mean? This guy's not like the other guys. But man, you should always be looking at everything but her body. try to actually see if she's real, if she's impressive. See if she's who she portrays herself to be. See if she's really all that. Because a lot of these women, they be acting like they're all that. Oh, I'm all that. I'm a little hot. I got a nice body, and so I'm all that. Okay, let's really test if you're all that. Let's see what that mind does, girl. See what that brain's about. Oh, you'll get a lot of walls. That's the crazy thing. I notice that now. Like the walls come up, just more walls, just like metal walls in front of brick walls. Just when they see that you're like trying, like you're like looking through them, like you're just like, uh, I'm gonna need better interaction than that. I'm gonna need a better answer than that. When you just kind of let their answer just hang in silence, and you're just like, okay, that was a shitty answer. That was a nothing answer. Yeah, I'm not gonna respond to that. And when you kind of just look at them, like analytically, you're just kind of, like it really, they sense that you're confident. They sense that their looks don't do anything. It's gonna really, walls come up. They don't want you in. They don't want you to see how nothing they are. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these women, when it really comes down to it, they're scary. They're scary inside. But you are going to attract, when you're on semen retention, you're going to attract really good women as well. Really good women that you have really good conversations with. The energy is really good. There's not even really anything sexual about it, but there's a super strong attraction. It's almost like the attraction now is stronger despite you not wanting to have sex with her. It's way stronger than when you actually wanted to have sex with a woman. That is crazy. Does that make sense? That's how it's meant to be. Attraction, I really don't think it has anything to do with sex. But, yeah. So yeah, that's how my journey has changed, and I think that this video can hopefully help a lot of guys out there that are maybe struggling with the dysfunction that I struggled with, looking at PORN and masturbating all the time. Yeah, man, you got to give that stuff up. You got to give up masturbation. You got to give up PORN, and it's just going to help so much. It's going to help so much with your interactions with women, and it won't happen overnight. Like I said, man, this is 13 months, and I feel like I'm just starting to kind of crack into this thing, starting to really enjoy myself around women. 13 months, bro. 13 months. Just now starting to feel like, okay, I'm actually starting to, I actually start to like women again. You know what I mean? For a long time, it's like there was so much resentment there towards women, and perhaps I even hated them. I don't know, but a lot of guys struggle with this. But you have to give up the darker habits behind closed doors, because that stuff is just rotting your brain, and it's going to translate out into the real world 100%. So yeah, okay, I think that's good enough. That's it. That's the video.